Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So happy Monday. Hopefully you guys had a good Father's Day weekend. But today, of course, let's talk about Bitcoin and crypto and several indicators that have turned bullish. But there's also a couple of things that are holding Bitcoin and the market back. So let's talk about all these things and more. All right, good morning. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin still seeing a little choppiness this morning, down slightly from last night all of a sudden, and I do think I know the reason why. But the U.S. market right now is opening up a little choppy too. Dow is down 141, NASDAQ is in the green, and it's all due to a couple things. Well, first of all, from an economic standpoint, we do have a lot of data coming out this week. Okay, again, I've been talking about how we're kind of in my Sunday walk video, how we're getting close to the finish line, but we're just like not quite there because we still have some conflicting data, and Powell's still stuck between a rock and a hard place, or whether or not he can do a rate cut sooner than later, or has to be pushed back. There's just a lot of things going on. So if you look at this week, look at how much data is coming out. A lot of these, do move markets depending on how good or bad they are, like retail sales and jobless claims and housing starts and manufacturing index for both the New York and Philly Fed, manufacturing PMI, existing home sales. These are all big data points that people look at. Wall Street looks at them. Powell looks at them. Other Fed presidents look at them. So, yeah, this week will be interesting. It'll be interesting. We'll see. But, when it comes to rate cuts, what we want to see is inflation go down, and we want to see not only that, but also the economic data like retail sales and housing start and existing home sales. We actually want to see them go down too, because that means the economy is slowing down. And if the economy is slowing down and inflation is going down, well, that's a perfect storm for us to finally break through the finish line and have our very first rate cut since 2020. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. But again, if we get a lot of strong economic data, then that's going to just, again, set things back. And on top of that, we got all these FOMC members, all these Fed presidents or board members or whoever. I have no idea why we need that many to be talking between Monday and Tuesday. Look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 FOMC members speaking somewhere about what I just said. Why do you need that many people to come out and talk about it? Again, you only need one person, and that's Fed Chair Powell. You don't need any of these other guys to be talking at all, yet they do. And the reason why I think we're seeing more choppiness this morning is, again, due to another FOMC member. This guy, Minnesota Fed President, this guy, Neil Kashkari, he is the most hawkish Fed member there is. Every single time he's asked on something, it's always to the extreme in terms of negativity. So now he's saying he did an interview with CBS Face the Nation, and he's like, well, it's reasonable to predict a rate cut in December. No one else is talking about rate cut in December. They're talking about it in September, but he's saying December. I'm surprised he even said there's a rate cut at all. He was the one that was indicating we needed rate hikes not too long ago. So again, because of this, it actually affected things. I think we're seeing that choppiness this morning, and treasury rates ticked up because of it. So kind of set things back a little bit. Again, I don't understand why any of these guys are speaking at all, doing interviews, talking. None of them should be doing anything except Fed Chair Powell. So he's probably like rolling over in his chair right now because, again, he's trying to bring price stability to the markets. He's trying to appease both sides, the side that wants him to cut rate really quick and the side that tells him not to cut rates. And all these guys are making his job a lot more difficult. That's what I know. So yeah, so that counts for a short-term volatility, I would say, a short-term choppiness. But we have been choppy for a long time, and that's a good thing, actually, very good thing. Now, the last thing I'll say about this is, when is a rate cut actually going to come to be? Well, right now, according to some of these probability calculators, the very first rate cut, there's a 10% chance next month in July, but a much greater chance come September, right? A 60% chance. And if you're looking at this, to go further, the next rate cut will probably come sometime either November, a 27%, 30% chance, or December, a 44% chance. So I said this in a Sunday Walk video too, because even though Powell says that it's anticipated there's only going to be one rate cut this year, I think he's going to change his mind. I think later this year, he's going to be forced to do another one to just make the economy even better with the new president coming in and all. So, so I do think that September will be the first one, and then we'll probably see another one either in November, December. I think that aligns. That makes some sense, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe we get a surprise one next month. But outside of that, what happened? Well, last week we had a horrible, horrible ETF outflow, and I mentioned this yesterday too. This is a larger number than I expected, but the one company or one fund that did not have any outflow, I believe, I didn't see it, was BlackRock. Because you know what? BlackRock is just built differently, I guess. Or Larry Fink is, because they just don't want to sell any. Why would you want to sell any Bitcoin right now when we are at that cusp of a major turnaround, right? So we'll see what happens this week. Unfortunately, I think Wall Street does still view Bitcoin as a risk-on asset, okay? And whenever there are risk-on assets, they get sold off during certain uncertainty times, right? Like right now with all the economic stuff that's going on, a lot of people just don't understand. They don't see Bitcoin like I do or you guys as a long-term hold, the greatest store value asset that we have. And if you're worried about inflation and you're sick of all the shenanigans, then it's the one asset you want to hold on to, right? Unfortunately, a lot of Wall Street just does not see it that way, but eventually they will. And they're going to realize they missed out by trading Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not something you trade. It's something that you just simply hold. And that's how you gain the most. People that often trade realize that they've lost out on a lot by doing so, right? And these Wall Street guys eventually they'll know. But in the meantime, while we're going through the choppiness, there are still a lot of great things, okay? For example, Australia just approved their very first Bitcoin spot ETF, and that will start trading this Thursday, which is actually Wednesday for us, right? So that's terrific. Having ETF access around the world, terrific. The more people that can get exposure to Bitcoin, the better it is. So, great. Absolutely great. What else is there? Bernstein says that Bitcoin is going to head to $500,000 by the end of the decade. Yeah, I originally thought that they said that it was going to be $500,000 by the end of the cycle. No, by the end of the decade, they're saying after this cycle, next cycle. So Bernstein, I know they're bullish, but not super, super, super bullish. It could actually, Bitcoin could actually get hit higher than 500,000 by the end of the next cycle. It depends on how high this cycle. But you know what? I think that's within the realm of possibility, right? Because if Bitcoin hits 250,000 by the end of this cycle, it'll probably go down a little bit and then come back up. And then if it doubles from our peak, that's about right. Because there's going to be diminishing returns, right? Every single cycle. It's not like we're going to do a 10x or a 5x every single cycle. So I think that's about right. And again, they're not the only ones that think so. Many others know that Bitcoin is going to go a lot higher, and they are going to load up. Like, of course, this guy right here. Look how serious he is about Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is never going to stop buying Bitcoin because he believes that this number is only the beginning. He believes Bitcoin will go to 8 million someday. He said he'll stop buying Bitcoin once Bitcoin hits $8 million each. Okay, that's how bullish he is. And I think he may be right. You just have to expand out your time frame. Maybe in 20 years that will happen. But he's raising another $700 million to go buy Bitcoin with, right? He will never stop. So that's, I think that's part of the reason why BlackRock is also not stopping, because Larry Fink, you know, he's looking at Michael Saylor. He's like, I don't want this guy to become the richest man on earth. I want to be the richest man on earth. There may be something there. And BlackRock is a minority holder of MicroStrategy as well. So there may be something there. Yeah, kind of interesting. Anyways, T-Mobile also will be mining Bitcoin in addition to running nodes. That's kind of interesting. Rather than buy physical Bitcoin, they decided to just start up mining farms because they want to be in a long term. Hey, that works. That works. It's just interesting. It's an interesting move, though, why they would want to become Bitcoin miners rather than just buy Bitcoin and hold it in their balance sheet. I don't know. But regardless, all these big companies around the world, they're all looking to get exposure or looking to get in or just looking to get a piece of the pie, really, because the pie is really small now. So everyone's trying to grab as much as they can. This is pretty interesting. So wallets that hold 10 plus Bitcoin, as of yesterday, hold 82% of the supply. Now, of course, that's deceiving because that includes wallet that holds 1,000 Bitcoins, 10,000 Bitcoins, wallets that hold 100 plus Bitcoins, right? So this is just 10 plus. But 10 plus is at 82%, which is as high as 2 years ago, right, after the FTX collapse. It's kind of interesting how we went through crypto winter. Obviously, look at 2023. We really bottomed out. A lot of capitulation. A lot of people left. And now we're just as high. It kind of makes sense, right? Because the price is around the same. So it kind of makes sense. But it does show the bulls are definitely back, loading up and waiting for the next leg up. Okay, that is very, very positive. Now, there are several major indicators that turn bullish, right? I've said that. I'm going to show you some. But look at this one, the 16 weeks of chop. I've shown this before, but I'm going to continue to show it because it's absolutely true. I'll just remove my camera there. Yeah, you could see. In 2017, we had the same thing. 2014, 2013, 2014, that's when I first entered Bitcoin and crypto. And I didn't understand. I saw it go all the way down to $160, right? And then it slowly climbed back up to 1,000. But I had a hard time breaking through. It took 16 weeks before it started moving. Now, if you look at right now, very, very similar how it took us so long to get back to our previous high, and now we're seeing that chop, right? It's the same thing. So again, we're mimicking this 2017 cycle very, very closely. Now we have accelerated cycle, and I know that the dollar amount is way bigger now, right? But Bitcoin tends to rhyme. Its cycles tend to rhyme. That's just how it's always been. And it's looking like it's rhyming like perfectly. So we just have to, again, have patience, wait for the next leg to come, and the parabolic phase, once it does hit, it's going to be phenomenal. And it's going to be unlike anything we have seen before, because now this time we have trillions of dollars on the sidelines that will be FOMOing in from the institutions that have never, ever, ever happened before. We never had institutions pay attention to Bitcoin. They do now, and they're all buying right now. And that FOMO is going to hit hard. And when it does, like I said, trillions upon trillions will be flowing in. So I'm looking forward to that. And besides Bitcoin, here's one looking at the alts. Interesting enough, a lot of people have been complaining about alts getting weaker against Bitcoin. That's kind of to be expected. Every time we have volatility, that's what happens. Alts do get weaker. Bitcoin dominance does go up. But we know from experience every single cycle that the alts do pick up and they have their altcoin season, right? And this is something that's going all the way back to 2021. Okay, so the 3-week Gaussian channel, I always don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Gaussian. Gaussian channel has changed from red to green. We haven't seen that since late 2021. And that is when the alts went on a huge altcoin season. And we're seeing that trigger right now. That's a major indicator that doesn't happen very often. It happens once basically every 4 or 3 years. And that has just triggered. So we could be seeing something, a big turnaround soon with the alts, especially with Ethereum now getting its own ETF and having those funds launch as early as July 2nd. That's only a couple weeks away. So if we do get this much sooner than expected, this could be a big catalyst that drive things upwards. So, I mean, based on Gary, he's saying September, but now Bloomberg analysts are thinking, no, it's going to be much sooner than that. And they predicted a Bitcoin ETF pretty accurately. So we could get Ethereum ETFs as soon as July 2nd, and that could be a big thing. And that is why a lot of Ethereum whales have been accumulating ahead of that event. 700,000 ETH has been bought in the past 3 weeks. $2.45 billion. And yes, they are loading up at this point. So everyone's loading up at this point. It's a smart thing to do. Remember what I've always said. When crypto is at a discount, you should love it even more. Just like if you go into a big box store, you see your favorite game or favorite equipment or favorite gadget, and now it's 20% off, 30% off, 50% off. You should like it better. That's how you should treat crypto. You got to have patience, continue to hodl, DCA over the long haul, and you can't lose with that strategy. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let's see here. Let me scroll up. Let me see if I missed any good comments or questions. Marshmallow said 4 wallets bought 47,229 Bitcoin each over the last 30 days. Is the central banks buying? No one knows. That's a whole lot of buying. Whole lot of buying right there. Again, we don't know who's buying. Sometimes they reveal themselves. Sometimes Arkham finds them. Sometimes we just don't know. Brendan says, Kashkara is a fiat Chad. It sounds like it. He is so negative anytime he's asked about anything. Let's see. Chetan Patel. Appreciate that. Phil says alts are trash. Well, they're trash until they're not. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Deputy Dog, you're going to have to rewind. I'm not going to repeat myself again. Robert is asking, when can I put my moon boots on? You can put them now. Just get used to them. Break them in a little bit, because you're going to have to use them soon. June 21st, full moon. Interesting. The last full moon was not so good, but the prior ones before that were all phenomenal, so... Davis says, one man's Cybertruck is another man's treasure. Man, I'll say this morning, oh, I'm glad I didn't play that long yesterday. Those of you guys that watch my Sunday walk video, I talked about I played basketball full court for, I mean, the first time in it had to been like 4 or 5 years, you know, because I've been having such problems with my knees and stuff. But I did it yesterday. You know, normally the guys run for 2 hours. I just did it for 1 hour. I'm glad I stopped because, man, this morning can't walk down the stairs. Very sore. I don't think I broke anything. Not serious pain, but like my knees and my joints feeling not so good this morning, and plus I'm just dead tired. AI and game tokens, talk about Rect. Yeah, you know what? Game tokens are not doing well, right? I've said that. The gaming niche has not found their footing yet. AI, I think, got disrupted because a lot of people were waiting for this merger and it got pushed back a month and people got discouraged by that. But AI is not going to go away. We know that. But gaming, don't quite know why. Well, I do know, but I think it'll pick up. Did you catch a new House of Dragons episode last night? No, I just saw it on Max. I was going to watch it. I haven't been watching a lot of TV recently. I finally finished Breaking Bad with the family, and then we watched the movie El Camino. I don't know if I want to watch Breaking Bad with them. Better Call Saul. It kind of relates, but I think they're gonna be bored by it. Start watching this other series called Your Honor on Netflix. I don't know, just didn't go anywhere with that. I really want to watch The Boys. I haven't had a chance to watch any of the episodes yet. Creepy Sheepy, are you retiring in 2025 or 2030? I don't know. It depends on how bullish 2025 is. You know, I'll see. Are you taking Caligen? I was. I feel like Caligen does nothing. Like, it does nothing for me. Do you consider stacks an alt? Anything that's not Bitcoin is an alt. That's the thing. I bought the one of like a huge bag of collagen. I was eating it for weeks. It did nothing. But I guess I'll just finish the bag and see what happens. Your Honor, season 1 is so good. I'm like up to, you know, the second episode or something. I don't know, that teenage kid just pisses me off. I don't think anyone's that stupid. Well, my youngest doesn't like to watch it. I mean, he thinks it's boring and it's maybe too intense for him, but still. That teenager was just like beyond stupid. I like Better Call Saul, but I just remember the first few seasons were really, really slow and boring. So I don't think the family will like it, but maybe we'll just watch it anyways. Build up is great, but the show is crap. Well, that's not good. Yeah, Better Call Saul, I remember, was really slow. It only got good towards the end, I remember. But first few seasons, just like about Jimmy and Kim and like no one really cared, and them doing their schemes and stuff. Like it's not nearly as good as Breaking Bad. But then again, first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad were horrifically slow too. So I don't know. Start a TV review channel. I can't do like long form videos on TV shows. I give like a 10-second opinion, but I can't make like a 15-minute review. Too much work and too much time. And happy Father's Day to everyone. I forgot to say that yesterday. I didn't watch the new Bad Boys yet. Did you know on Netflix, I just realized this, I was binge watching Suits, and I didn't know there was actually a 9th season. Did you guys know that? I binge watched Suits when it hit Netflix like everyone else. I thought the season ended with season 8 with Harry and whoever leaving for Seattle to join Mike. But then I just saw on Netflix, they said new season coming out. I'm like, wow, did they remake this show? And it turns out, no, there's actually a 9th season that no one knew about. And Netflix never put it on. I'm like, what the hell happened there? So now they're going to have a 9th season, but like it was actually already from before. And I'm like, how did I not know there was not a 9th season? But Suits is a great show. I hope they reboot it. But that was really strange. I don't know why they held out on season 9. So I don't know, because it originally was on USA or something like that, or some weird small channel that no one watched. But it's been years. It's been like 3 years or something, 4 years, something crazy. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. What's not interesting is Bitcoin's price movement right now. I think, this Fed Kashkari, Kashkari. I guess it's in his name, Kashkari. he just upset the market with what he said. Rather than a rate cut in September, now he's saying December, even though he doesn't make the decisions, and that is setting things back today. XRP is actually in the green today. I don't know how that's possible, but XRP is. Very little is in the green today. XRP may be the only thing in the top 100 in the green today, besides stablecoin, which doesn't even make sense. Tron, XRP, and Tron are the only ones in green today. No idea what happened. True Detective Woody Harrelson was the best. Yeah, that was great. I don't know what happened to True Detective. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I tried to watch the recent one with the two girls, but then like HBO pulled it or something. So I got halfway through and I can't even finish it. I can't even find the show. I don't know what HBO did with that. Where's the Chris Larson commercial? It's not a commercial. It's an educational video. Okay, get that straight. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out here a little bit. Okay, for people that are getting super bearish on Bitcoin, we've been chopping this for 16 weeks. 3 months, 4 months, and through the choppiness, we're still going sideways. But just know that we have seen these levels before, many, 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 many times before. So it's nothing different. And I like to remind you guys, we were just at $72,000 right here, okay, just 2 weeks ago. So do not fall for the FUD. 2 weeks ago, we were at 72,000. Okay, it wasn't 2 months ago, wasn't 2 years ago. Things move very quickly. So for people that are very, very, very bearish now, just know that, yes, volatility happens. There are some major swings at times, but not all is lost. Not all hope is lost. We're not heading back down to like 30K or 40K even, or even 50K for that matter. We're just going sideways. When in doubt, zoom out. How do you decide which coin to buy during the bear market when every coin can pretty much guarantee a 10x? Well, my thesis on that has changed. There are some that I don't believe will do a 10x. There are some that possibly can't even break through their previous high. So, yeah, I'm not sure that's guaranteed anymore. But I would say you're right. For most part, most of the good ones will. But there will be ones that do better than others. That's for sure. JH says, just sucks that alts have been decimated since 2021. I'm okay with Bitcoin, but my alts holdings are destroyed. You know, that happens every single cycle. And if you think the alts are destroyed now, you haven't lived through the previous crypto winter from 2018 to 2020. The alts were all down 99% plus. Okay. So this cycle, yes, you have a lot of alts that went down 70, 80, 90%. But in the previous cycle, every single alt went down 99 plus percent. So the alts are actually much stronger now than they ever been if you go ahead and look back and look at some of these previous cycles. They were really, really, really bad. I'll show you something in case you guys don't believe me. Let's look at it. Let's look at this right here. Look at Ethereum over here, right? And this was the peak, 1,500. Look at that. That was bottom right there, 90. I can't even zoom in, but that was 95% down, right? So had you given up on ETH in 2018 to 2020, you would have lost out on this, okay? So it happens every single time, but it's less extreme now. So if you go from the top now to the bottom here, it's 81%, right? 81% is a lot better than 95% down. So that's my point. It's like, yeah, alts went down for sure after the last bull cycle, but they didn't go down nearly as much as the previous cycle. Alts are getting stronger with every cycle. And this next cycle top that we have, well, if we do come down, I think, again, it'll be less extreme. Does the ETH ETF change your mind about getting flipped by Sol? It does until we get a Sol ETF. I will have to admit, if we don't get a Sol ETF, ETH ETF will probably carry ETH for a long time until we get a Sol ETF. Then it may flip the narrative again. So when I originally made that prediction, I did not believe that ETH ETF would be approved this year. I said it's very unlikely that Gary's going to approve another ETF and he's just going to pass on to someone else. But I was wrong about that. Somehow he caved. Somehow he was pressured to approve a ETH ETF, even though he's been trying to declare ETH a security. So he must have gave up and said, hey, this is my last tenure, last year, last few months, whatever. Maybe it's for job security, or maybe just like, whatever, I'm going to give him a gift or something. But I was really caught off guard with that. Luka, greatest comeback in NBA history. Thoughts? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Luka has to score 60 points every single game from here on out to possibly have a chance. And even then, the Celtics are too loaded, so it wouldn't even matter. And plus, they're exposing him now because he can't really play D. He's just not a good defensive player. He's, his offensive rating is like 99 out of 100, but his defensive rating is more like a you know, 60, 70 out of 100, and they're exposing him. But who knows? If you could do a couple like 60-point games along with Kyrie, they could keep it somewhat close, I guess. Creepy sheepy. Does less downside equal less upside? No. You always have less downside than upside. Think about it. Going down to 0, you're capped on how much downside you could go. But upside, it could go infinite. There's no upside limit, right? So that's not true. Party in LA. I'm not the biggest fan of LA, to be honest. So I don't think I'll ever have a party in LA. I'd much rather do it in Miami or Vegas. And we'll see how Nashville is, because I hear Nashville is the Vegas of the Midwest. I still don't believe that. But yeah, Miami or Vegas would be the places I would have future parties at. Did you get Johnny Walker Blue? I still have a bottle waiting. You know what's really nice is I've been hosting a lot of parties. People coming over a lot. So that Bartistian drink maker is a hit. Everyone loves to get drinks. So if you don't know how to make your custom drinks or cocktails, whatever, that machine is godsend. You just buy these little pods and it just mixes things up for you. And it's really good. Just FYI. All right, guys. So to conclude, today we have a little red day due to one person's comments about rate cuts. But we got a lot of things going on this week. We got a lot of manufacturing data, economic data, sales data, all these kind of data. And we got more FOMC meetings, or speakers, I should say. So you know what? This week may be rocky. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Because we know Bitcoin is the truth. It's the one that we should all load up on. And that's exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And there are many indicators that show pretty bullish things that are about to come. So stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight. Usual time, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.